Well, the Delhi Daredevils getting dangerously close to the Chennai Super Kings, and bear in mind that they had a mammoth 211 that they had put on the board. So for DD to get even near that, well, we've got to say they kept it exciting till the last over. I'm Gaurav Kapur here on Cricbuzz Live. I have with me Simon Doull and Joy Bhattacharjya. Safe assessment, gentlemen. They kept it exciting till the end.
They did. I mean, they were so far out of it. But, yeah, my man, Shankar ji.
Shankar ji, Vijay. I got to say, Simon Doull is, I think some people on Twitter have called him that as well. He's like the dream fantasy player. Cut the camera to me. Yeah, let people see me. He's the dream fantasy player because he picked it. He said it's going to be Vijay Shankar's night. It was a good night for him, almost his dream night, wasn't it?
Almost his dream night, and after this, everything is going to, like, Vijay Shankar has now performed.
Yeah.
Mayank Agarwal will score more than 25 this time.
Yeah.
Robin Uttava will get a 50. The world will be a better place. I promise you, it's all started from here.
But that's only if Simon says.
Simon, please.
No, I'm not going to. I'll save my moments. I'll save my moments.
The thing what Simon says is, it's got to come from within.
It does. It needs
to. It's not force it. It's come from within.
Yeah. But yeah, look, a tough one. They were always going to be behind the 8 ball, weren't they? And that run out early on was disappointment.
Do you think Didi's looking at that and going, if only not for that careless run out, we probably could have done this?
I think so. I mean, Rishabh Pant will be looking at it, and it's just a communication thing. And I see it quite often with, I guess, some of the younger players who are a little bit protective of themselves rather than just taking note from their partner at the other end. I mean, it was Shreyas Iyer's call, and it was to Shane Watson, who was a little bit slow, I will say, and Rishabh Pant was caught ball watching. And that, you know, it's not a turning point because they were chasing 211. They needed a massive score, but those little things don't help.
I think, you know, what he said about this is one serious problem. And where it comes from, and, you know, any coach will tell you, because we've seen this a lot. Every time international cricketers come in, they say this about Indian batsmen. The point is, there's so much competition among Indian batsmen to rise up the ranks and get big scores that they are always tend to be a little bit more selfish about, you know, what they need to do. And it's a difficult habit to give up. So the point is, if it's in front of the wicket, it is Shreyas Iyer's call. Yeah. He should be running blindly. Yeah. And that's something, but he just turned around, and that's, every time you turn around to look at the ball, when you're trying to run, that's an extra 0.3 to 0.5 seconds.
Yeah.
And that's a difference even if he had run, and this was a ridiculous run out, but even if he had run, that could have cost him a run out. The fact of the matter is that our boys do it, and it's a very difficult habit to break, because you're telling a guy, you need to have scored so many hundreds through a system before you even come close to batting in the IPL.
Yeah.
They're taught to be selfish, they're taught to play for themselves, and then suddenly at a certain age you're telling them, look boss, trust his call.
Yeah.
It's very difficult.
It's a tough habit to break. It's a tough habit to break.
It's not easy, and I see today, I mean, it was Shreyas Iyer's call. I think if they'd both gone at the same time, I don't agree with what they said on commentary. I think there was a run there. If they'd both taken off at the same time, when you saw Shane Watson, he was slow to the ball, the throw was a long way wide of MS, and I think Rishabh Pant would have made it.
And that was a non-pressure throw. If
Correct.
you put pressure on him.
Pressure on it, exactly.
Yeah. Well, let's have a look at the summary scorecard of what has happened. Remember, MSD was sent into bat by Shreyas Iyer. They got to 211. It was a really smashing batting effort from them. Everybody, MS Dhoni, Raidu, and then of course there was Shane Watson at the top. And then the Delhi Daredevils, well, they say they lost by 13 runs, but it came fairly close, you'd have to say. And you just kept thinking in the last 5 overs, well, if it was only 10 runs lesser at every point, they could do this. So
brilliant from Ngidi, wasn't it? Come back coming from his father's funeral, come back into this Chennai side. He's the guy they sort of put their money on, basically being their #1 overseas strike bowler, and he showed up one day off the plane, and he bowled his first 2 overs for 7, I think it was, and then finished off those last 2 very, very well.
Yeah, Rishabh Pant, of course, was absolutely amazing. He seemed like he was a little rattled. Anybody would be after they run out their captain. Yeah, you'd be like, oops, job in trouble.
How many players do you see in this country who can be off balance, beaten by a ball, ball hit the toe of the bat and hitting it over long on for 6? How many players have that combination of talent? I mean, he's a ridiculously talented guy, and the only one who can stop him is himself.
And the thing is, he does it, but he was trying those cute shots, the ramp shot over the keeper's head. And I remember both of you watching that and saying, if you can hit the ball so powerfully for flat 6s over long on, right? Miss-hitting 6s. Why would you bother with these cute shots?
What about that first ball? Seriously, the first ball, Shane Watson comes into bowl, just goes bang, times it over mid-wicket, for 6, and you're going, wow.
That's
You know,
ball
and
one.
that's exactly what this kid can do. And I say kid because he's younger than me.
About half your age.
Probably is half my age. But that's the talent he has.
Yeah.
And therefore, when towards the end, when he starts to premeditate and starts to look to do this, just stand still, hit the ball. Even if Sanjay Mandrake says you are off balance.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It's fine.
That's fine. We want to talk about Dwayne Bravo. Dwayne Bravo's been the go-to guy for Mahendra Singh Dhoni. Today, I don't know about MS, Ambati Raidu was not happy with Dwayne Bravo, was he?
Well, you think he had orange hair under his orange cap. He's an angry man today, wasn't he? But, you know, fiery redheads. But you would think he had orange hair under there. He was very angry man.
I also think today, maybe he was just channeling Professor Charles Xavier, right? He just kept doing this. He was like, I'm going to do something, send an idea to... And in the end, I could see the panic because Bravo ran towards Lungi
That was really
in the
funny.
last over. And MS started running saying, anybody but him. Anybody, don't tell him what to do. Yeah, Bravo had a rare off day with the ball. See, he's not been the same bowler this season.
We highlighted that in the pre-show, didn't we?
Yeah,
and those stats are starting to stack up against him now. The slower ball's getting picked. You know, it's getting hit out of the park more often.
Yeah.
The pace is not on the short ball. The Yorker, not quite where it was.
Not getting it where he used to, man. The amount of accuracy. This is, and MS obviously when he's bought in Giddy would also be looking at saying, is this going to be my designated death bowler towards the end? Because he's a smart man, Dhoni. He builds his season and then he sort of slowly puts people into slots. And clearly he might be looking at Bravo and saying, this slot is right now not fulfilled.
Yeah, because Giddy was great today. As you said, Simon, the first 2 overs went for only 7. In the end, of course, some runs went towards the end, but you still say if you're finishing with the other team getting close to 200, if you're finishing your 4 overs at 26 for a wicket, you've done really well for your captain, as is Harbhajan Singh.
Yeah, well, both the spinners. Budgie and Jadoo, I mean, 31 and 26 respectively. Very, very good performances from those two. Asif, tough introduction for him, but 2 wickets and key wickets as well. So they were both up front, which is certainly very good. Shane Watson, again, I think he's probably only a 2-over man, and he will be better than that 13.5 on most occasions in those 2 overs.
One shot I'd like you gentlemen to explain is when Colin Munro got out. I mean, you've got the power play going on, only 2 guys, you're trying to hit it straight to the guy who's there, admittedly over his head.
Yeah, it's a funny one with Colin. That's his strength, his leg side, short deliveries, but he just loses his shape a little bit. And I get the feeling when he stands still and just plays good cricket shots and trusts his power and his timing, he's better off. When he tries to go too hard, he loses his shape, and then it just becomes all a bit messy for him. So it's almost like that pressure of 211 was too much.
Yeah.
And he felt like he had to hit every ball out of the park. He doesn't. He's got timing, he can play the offside, he can play the onside. Just when he loses his shape, it just looks a little bit awkward.
You know, but all this gets you to the point where you look at Delhi and you've seen now Maxwell can play. There's no doubt that Maxwell can play. He just didn't play today. They've got all the pieces.
Yeah.
They're just not somehow being able to stack them together into the kind of formation that makes consistent winning. But they obviously have the pieces there, and that's good news for them. Over the next 3 years, at least they're not looking at themselves and saying, man, we've got to go out the auction because they don't have the players. Because they do have the players.
Yeah, they do.
It's a combination of luck, it's a combination of combinations, it's a combination of a lot of other things, maybe calmness, maybe giving this captain a bit of rope. But this Delhi team has potential, and that's more than you can say for many, many seasons before this.
That is true. Let's have a look at, well, right after that, you don't want to see the points table. You're like,
Potential is the word I use.
Potential. Remember, this is the points table for this season, not the next one. Here it is. DD, of course, languishing at the bottom. They've got 2 wins only out of their 8 games. And interestingly, another team tomorrow will have the same stats.
Exactly.
Because it's number 6 and 7 who are playing each other. Both are 2 and 5. And one of them tomorrow is going to be 2 and 6.
And if RCB loses, they'll go right to the bottom because their run rate is closer to Delhi's. So you'll be thinking that if RCB loses, they'll probably go up below Delhi.
Yeah, and of course, let's talk for a second about the guys right at the top. Their net run rate should have been a lot better today had they not been leaking so badly, especially in the last few overs. But there they are, they're sitting right at the top. A team which almost everybody... Did he exactly write off, but they had to say this about it, saying, oh, it's an aging team, it's, 35 plus, and what have you... It's not age, it's experience. It's like wine, it's a vintage.
Well, the vintage guys are coming through for them, and Bhatti Ryder we've talked about at length. MS is back to his best.
Watson.
With the bat. Shane Watson, a good job again tonight. So they've got a couple of youth in there.
Budgie.
Yeah, Budgie's doing well. I mean, Ngidi tonight, it brings them a little bit of youth and a little bit of pace that I think they were genuinely lacking, and a top quality overseas bowler. They tried Mark Wood, didn't quite work, and so Ngidi into that side just gives it a little more balance. And I like Karan Sharma, did he bowl?
No, he didn't bowl.
No, he didn't bowl.
I mean, that's another option that they've got.
Yeah.
Right, he didn't even bowl.
No.
So, I mean, I like that better than Imran Tahir. I think Imran Tahir and Karan Sharma are very, very similar. I'd rather see them play Karan Sharma every time and play Ngidi or mess around with Faf or someone else up the top. There's no issue there.
Basically, Karan Sharma did for Chennai what Vijay Shankar used to do for Delhi.
Oh.
But Vijay Shankar is now changed.
But today he's the... Hey, but listen, Vijay Shankar hit a few really big shots towards the end, and that made you think that this boy just needed some time in the middle.
Yeah, and bowled 2 overs, 1 for 22, so I'll give him man of the match.
Yeah.
No,
That won't be too bad. But you see it. But Joy, we've not seen that side of him in the IPL. He's obviously a prolific batsman in domestic cricket. Good hitter of the ball. Couldn't do it in the first 15-20 balls. You're like, he wasn't timing it, wasn't getting it. But when he hit it, you saw those were some impressive sixes.
Again, see, it's going to be a matter of the kind of batting formation you have, because Vijay Shankar is much more actually is a number 2, number 3 kind of batsman who'll sort of take his time, get scoring, and that's why T20, though he's been playing T20, is not his natural format. He's probably better at slightly longer versions of the game, but he's an excellent player. And if you look at it, Delhi actually has one more excellent player who's sitting on the bench, Gurpreet Singh, who's a really good striker of the ball, a very good fielder. So all in all, they have potential. I think it's now just a matter of saying, these are my pieces. This is 1, this is 2, this is 4, this is the finisher, and getting it together.
Well, what they could do then, I think, is if they wanted to bring Gurpreet Man Singh in to the side, they could do that and leave Maxwell out. If they wanted to just change it up and bring in another overseas bowler, another quality overseas bowler, perhaps. I mean, and looking forward to next year, and I know it's a hard one to do for Delhi already, but, let's say Morris is back, then you can play Gurpreet and you can play Morris in that middle order and Vijay Shankar and leave Maxwell out. You've got your quality 4 batsmen at the top. Yeah. In Munro if you want to, and now Prithvi Shaw and Rishabh, Pant and Shreyas Iyer, so no issue with those 4, and then maybe Maxwell's spot might be in danger.
This is of course for next year, as Simon is saying. By the way, it must be really late. You know why? Because Joy just said that when Vijay Shankar hit the ball, it stayed hit.
Did I?
Yes, he did.
Vijay Shankar.
He's my we have a jar upstairs, and every time someone says something like that or a silly cliche, that's something to do with cricket, like we just got to put it in the right area.
It's a dollar for a cliche.
It's a $1 US as well in the jar. So Joy's got the first one in the jar.
Keeps going up. It's actually a better investment than anything else these days. Or diesel. Right? Diesel's good investment as well these days. I'll tell you some players who've been very good investments, and we haven't spoken enough about them. But it's almost like they're like the unsung heroes. Well, you talk about all the big guys, and we've spoken about these guys a bit, but we'd really like to talk about them just a little more, especially since it's Monday night, and it's nice to do nice things on a Monday. Krishnappa Gautam, super impressive in that game against MI, came and won it for them from a situation that was pretty much unwinnable, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I think when you look at the first month, what I like to do is talk about guys that don't get enough mentions, I don't think. And not only that winning that game with the bat, but bowling. He's been very, very good. I know he's a good performer for Karnataka in the Ranji Trophy, but he's been picked up by Double R's, and he's done a great job for them, I think, Joy. And that's, those are the unsung heroes, I think, that don't get talked about in the same frame as a Kohli and a Dhoni and those sorts of guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the big thing about him is that the calmness about that 6 hitting that he did. And look, any performance that takes a team across the line is a big one, because it's not about just hitting 3 sixes, it's about hitting 3 sixes the time he hit those sixes, and that's important. And I think He's genuinely sold. That confidence takes you to a different place altogether.
One guy who's really impressed me with the change in his batting position, and he's obviously worked towards that. From RCB, Mandeep Singh. I saw Mandeep Singh in the Syed Mushtaq Ali for Punjab. He opened the batting, right? He was opening the batting over there. For him to come into the next T20 tournament that he's played effectively and say, all right, I know my position at the top of the order can't happen at RCB. I have to play at 5. I'm going to train for 5, and I'm going to train to bat in that position, and it's succeeded. That's tough to do, huh? That's hard work.
It's hard work. Okay, it's true Bangalore suits him more than other grounds because it's a smaller ground. Therefore, he can power it stronger because he's not the strongest of guys. He's a small guy, but he's just timing is what his strength is. But therefore, he can play easier in Bangalore as a finisher. Maybe if he was playing for Rajasthan, you wouldn't look at him as a finisher in the same way as you're doing. But the great thing about him is he's a great student of the game. 2010 he was one of the top players for India in the under-19, and this under-19 system has got through a lot of kids, and he and Jaydev were the pick of that bunch of 2010, and he's just now blossomed into a player. Now he's for Punjab really one of their go-to players. That Ranji season 400, 500, 600 runs, this guy has to get to us, and that's good. Because that means you are a prolific run scorer in all formats. He's that for Punjab.
Yeah.
Clarity of role for him. That's the key for me.
Yeah.
He's got clarity. He
and
knows
communicated
what his job is.
in advance.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah, very important.
No issue.
Sanju Samson, again for Rajasthan Royals. Till the last match, it seemed like he was probably the only guy who was getting runs for them, right? Now you had Rahane got a few runs. But Sanju Samson, again, supremely impressive this year.
I think Sanju Samson's a player that's got to be on that plane to England. This summer, England's summer. I think he's a
shorter format.
Yeah, for shorter format. Yeah, backup keeper as well. Even in the longer format, backup keeper, backup batsman. Yeah, you take a young player like that on tour. He might not play, but you take him on tour and you give him some of that, just a taste of it. Because I think in 2 years' time, he will be a very, very good player for India, I think.
But why is he not keeping for RR? I don't understand. Has he just given up on his keeping? Or?
No, I don't think he's given up on his keeping. I think it would be a team decision.
Yeah.
He has to work hard in his keeping because he also, he started, he shot up a bit. And as it happens with keepers, suddenly when you shoot up, your skills come a bit because, we've been seeing him as a 13-year-old. He's been a prodigy. He played for his state, Kerala, as a 15-year-old. So his keeping just fell off a bit. It's back. He's working very, very hard on it on the nets. But I think they're just thinking that, okay, just at this point of time, let him focus on his batting. Let him not worry about it because they have keepers.
Because otherwise the talk is usually just about Rishabh Pant. Like, who's the next keeper batsman for India? Who do you want to invest in? There's Rishabh Pant. 2 years ago, it was all about Sanju Samson.
Yeah.
So that's why you want to see that he wants to grab every opportunity to keep.
That's why he should be keeping. He should be going to Zubin and to whoever's in charge there at Rajasthan and saying, listen, I want to keep. Joss Buttler spends time in the field for England when in the one-day internationals. Yeah. So there's no he can field. There's no issue with that. And I think if they want to promote Sanju Samson for that Indian lineup, which they should be looking to do through this competition, he needs to be keeping.
Yeah, Joss Buttler didn't keep when he was at Mumbai Indians. He was only batting, but Parthiv Patel would be the wicket keeper. So that's strange. A couple of bowlers I want to mention real quick. This has gone on really long, but real quick. Siddharth Kaul. You've been very impressed by Siddharth Kaul.
The headband wonder. Yeah, brilliant. He's taken on the mantle of being that guy. They've lost Billy Stanley, they've lost Bhuvi. I love him. I love his attitude. I love his aggression, and I love his knuckleball.
There you go. And purple cap on his head.
On the headband.
Yeah. Who are you going to call? Sid Kaul.
That's a good one. But his brother there also used to play for Punjab, and he comes from a family. His father was a tennis this thing in Sai and all that. So he comes from that family. Again 2008, the same. He's a class of 2008. Virat Kohli, the same. That same group of people. Brilliant cricket. The great thing about it is how he's built his skills, because he realized at some point in time that he's not particularly big, not particularly fast, and just getting all the skills together to say, so he's a package. It's not that he's the fastest guy out there, or he's very strong, he's a perfect Yorker, but he's all the combination together makes him what he is, and brilliant guy as well.
Definitely got the fastest run-up, I feel.
Yeah. Great temperament.
Yeah. It seems like he's road runners coming at
him. He loves it. Yeah. Enjoys his cricket. I enjoy watching him play, and he wants success for those sorts of guys.
Yeah.
One last one. The Rajput. Ankit Rajput. The 5-4 the other day. Whoa. So lethal, huh?
I think...
It's just, look at him. Doesn't look like the most you'd look at him and you'd go, one sec, this guy's bowling at 140 plus. No,
I had him in my team just because of that. Because again, match-winning performances from bowlers, how often do you see them?
Yeah.
And this season, he didn't get Umesh, those 3 wickets. Just teaming in somebody who has genuine menace, and to see an Indian bowler have genuine menace is fantastic. I think.
Again, running and aggression. I love the attitude. Love the attitude of Ankit Rajput. Just wants to bowl fast, and that's the key. If you want to bowl fast, you'll find a way to do it, and that's the key to it. He's got out and out aggression. Yeah, he gave a send off the other night that probably wasn't deserved, but hey, he'll learn. As he grows in years, he will learn.
One sec, Simon Doull just said if you want to bowl fast, you figure out a way to. Just because you did doesn't mean everybody else did, all right?
No, but I wasn't fast. I was medium pace. But what I'm saying is that these guys have got that aggression to bowl fast, and he's another one of them. Avish Khan, we saw, the guys that want to bowl quick, and that's what I love about it. You don't come to India anymore and see guys wanting to bowl medium pace.
The
dibbly dobblers. They want to bowl fast, and I love that.
Okay, I've got another question for you. The dibbly dobbly wibbly wobbly from New Zealand. Tell us who those 4 were. Yeah? Come on. Real quick. Hashtag Cricbuzz Live. Let's see how good you are. Don't Google it. I'm watching you. Don't Google it.
You're talking World Cup 92?
Yes, World Cup 92.
Okay, yeah. There was 4 of them.
Yep.
Or there was 3 of them.
See, originally there were 4. In that there are supposed to be 4, right? I don't know if the 4 ever played together. But for me, so Chris Harris is one. Yeah. Willie Watson is one.
Yeah.
Gavin Larson.
Gavin Larson. Yeah. And then was the 4th Shane Thompson?
No, I remember Rod Latham came in.
Rod Latham.
A little bit of that.
There you go.
Yes.
I really enjoyed Gavin Larson's bowling, by the way. I was a really big Gavin Larson fan for some reason.
No, also, if you remember that tournament, they won everything. It was a semi-final against Pakistan, and for that particular point in time, Crowe was
Martin Crowe had to go off the field.
Got off the field. John Wright came there, and Inzi went and hit 61 of 37 balls.
61, yep, correct.
Yeah. And that was it. I mean, every Kiwi would remember that.
It was horrible. It was horrible. And watching Inzamam do it was just like man.
He was a kid. He was a teenager.
He was 19, I think.
Yeah,
Inzamam at that stage.
Yeah, smashed it.
Amazing.
But Pakistan 19, so about 26.
Stop it.
Pakistan and Punjab, we always add a few years to these. Just like me. I tell you I'm 26. Add a few. And then add a few more. All right, well, we obviously have our eyes on the game tomorrow as well, or later today. It's the Mumbai Indians playing the Royal Challengers Bangalore in Chinnaswamy. And this, as Joy has been touting it from the morning, he's saying this is a knockout game. It's a virtual knockout game. It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you lose this one, it's bye-bye birdie.
Yeah, you talk all these mathematical angles and all, we can still qualify and all. It is really, then you leave yourself with a 5 to 6% chance of qualifying. Yeah. So this is a really big game. And whoever wins this, though, 3 and 5, you're beginning to then scare the guys in the middle.
Yeah.
Because clearly now what's happened in this whole setup that you have out here is that there are 3 teams who seem to be running away with it, which is Kings 11, SRH and CSK. If these 3 qualify, you have the mid-pack right now, which is basically KKR and RR, and then you have these 3 guys. But one of these guys is then going to try and join the mid-pack.
Yeah.
And that's going to be interesting.
So now comes the question, which I don't know how much time you guys have. We have a lot of time, and this will take a lot of time. Your ideal RCB 11. We seem to be asking this question every time. And I'm sure they're asking this question every time to themselves as well, because popular perception that they haven't got it right yet.
Would we have the last RCB 11 available?
We do. I can just tell you, I can rattle it off my head.
Can you? Go on.
You got McCullum, Quintin, Virat, Manan, Mandeep, Grandome. And then the bowlers, you've got there you go. I was running through it.
Okay, very good, very good.
So there you go. So obviously one foreign player at the top sits out because AB de Villiers will be back. He had a fever last time, which is why he was not there. Viral fever's probably gone, which means he comes in. Who will he replace?
I tell you though, if you're playing in the Wankhede,
no, Chinnaswamy.
If you're playing in Chinnaswamy, then I would replace Brendan McCullum definitely. If you're playing in here, I would have said play McCullum.
Yeah, they already played here and didn't play him. So
yeah.
I'd probably Quinton de Kock's had a couple of good innings. Brendan's had 3 games out and then came back the other day with 38.
Yeah, it's not Brendan.
And it wasn't him, but I'd just give Parthiv one go.
Yeah.
And leave Quinton out for one game, maybe two, and see if that'll give Brendan the confidence up the front, up the top, just to do something different.
Baz and Parthiv together.
And bring AB into that side.
That's an interesting one. That's a really interesting way of looking at it, where you play that.
So which Indian player are you dropping then? Because then you're dropping an Indian player, aren't you?
Yeah, and
You're getting Parthiv in.
And there's no Sarfraz to drop, which
There's
is
no
our
Sarfraz
standard.
to drop.
Yeah.
Which means Manan's got a couple of chances.
Manan's got to go then.
And nothing's happened
Yes,
there.
correct.
And Manan's, I mean, yeah, he got a good ball, but you know.
Yeah, and you're bringing in a guy who can bat, so I don't mind that. So maybe you leave Manan Vora out, and I think they got their bowling a little bit better. But I would like to see Nadeep Saini in the side, please, tomorrow. He's got to play.
Pull that 11 up again. Just pull that 11 up again and let's see, because Simon called this yesterday as well, saying Siraj has done well, but it's okay. He can sit a game out.
You got a big rap on this Nadeep Saini. Just get him into the side and maybe leave Mohammad Siraj out for tomorrow's one. I think Murugan Ashwin has got to play again. He did a good job with the ball the other night, although his hands let him down. So there you go. I'm making those changes. So Parthiv comes in for Manan. Brendan, McCullum and Parthiv open the batting.
AB comes in for Quinton.
And AB comes in behind Virat at number 4. Mandeep at 6. Big Colin de Grandhomme at 7. Southee at 8. Murugan Ashwin at 9. Umesh and then Saini and then Yuzvendra Chahal.
Going to give Grandhomme an over? Would you give him an over?
I'd like to see him bowl at least one. Just see what he's like. Make sure he can still bowl. Maybe his shoulder's fallen off.
Yeah. Just to check. You never know. These days, at least, you never know. Let's have a look at the Mumbai Indians 11 as well. That beat CSK a couple of days ago. And you see this, and you see the blue, and you see the gold, and you feel so optimistic about it. And yet you see them with, 2 wins in 7, and you say this doesn't make sense. But the big news here, of course, is that there's no Kieron Pollard.
That team shouldn't change for mine.
Yeah.
And I said it last night, I think, that it's not so much about what JP Duminy didn't do and what Ben Cutting didn't do in that game. It's what they brought to the game. They brought the enthusiasm. They brought the willingness in the field. They brought the high fives and the pats on the back. They gave that team a little bit of something that they just hadn't had. And I think they will repay you if you continue to play them.
Yeah, and you bring them in, you're not going to drop them in one game, especially when you won the game.
Absolutely. There's no reason to change this team.
Yeah.
And, I mean, this is a kind of pitch on which even a Duminy can tonk it out of the ground.
Yeah.
It's not as if...
And maybe bowl a couple of those if it starts to turn.
Definitely, if it turns a bit.
Yeah.
I notice when a lot of people say that Rohit should open, and then a lot of people come in and go, no, but Surya has done such a good job as an opener. I don't think it's a statement on Surya Kumar Yadav, who's done a fantastic job. If people say that Rohit should open, it's not a statement on him. He's performed really well. Maybe he would do it 3. Surya Kumar could still come in and bat at 3. I think the idea is that a person who's opening for India, he's got double hundreds for India opening. He's got big innings in T20s opening. Your best batsman, definitely. One of the best in the world. You've got to give him the most number of overs.
The other thing is that I'm saying, okay, here there are 2 situations. One's a situation where somebody else comes into bat. They've scored a 160. You say, okay, Rohit staying back, let him control the game and stay back. But every time that I am setting a target, I would put Rohit up to open because I know that he would give me the maximum chance. If there was a question of a low total or something and I have to play it tactically or do something like that, then I would look at playing at Rohit at any other position. But that's a tactical move based on a total.
Yeah.
If I had a blank slate and said who has to open, I would say my best player has to open.
Batting first, who goes out first? Rohit Sharma.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah, the call that your best players have to face the most deliveries is right, in as much as if they are genuine opening batsmen. It's not like you say AB de Villiers, you've got to open the batting because you're the best player. Yeah. But Rohit Sharma is an opening batsman at international level and an opening batsman of quality. And that's been my point throughout the last few years, is that what is the best for Mumbai Indians? Not what's the best for the team because everybody fits into places. What is the best for Mumbai Indians? And that is Rohit Sharma at 1 or 2, in my opinion. Will they do it tomorrow? I don't think so. But hey, that's what I feel. If I'm in charge of that team, I'm saying, mate, you're opening the batting.
Hope.
You're in.
It's all about hope.
But considering the way what you did to Vijay Shankar. And Rohit with the toss.
You can control destiny. He is the puppeteer. But I have to tell you, I did a quick poll the other day saying, should Rohit open? Should Rohit be at 3 or 4? And you'd be surprised. There was about 35% of people who said, or 40% of people who said, no, he's fine at 3 or 4. I don't know if they're fans of other teams.
No,
We're just trying to jam the poll, huh?
I think it's a fan of your own team because you're so scared. Oh, Rohit gets out, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
You know, he's there. He's still there in the dressing room. Fans of their own teams are always scared when their teams are batting.
But my question always is, if Rohit doesn't get out, think of what's going to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Think big.
Don't prepare for the worst case scenario.
Yeah.
Set yourself for the best case scenario.
Exactly.
He's going to bat 20 overs.
Which they're not doing.
No.
Some of you set yourself up for the best and are expecting the worst because we can only have one winner for the joy factor. But before that, you need to know the answer. And before that, we need to refresh the question. And before that, Mr. Joy Bhattacharjya has to read it out to you. So please go ahead, dear sir.
I shall do it right now. Okay, in one-day internationals, what rare feat did Sachin Tendulkar perform twice in the 90s that has also been achieved by Chris Gayle in 2000 and Glenn Maxwell in 2014? And
I give up completely.
And I've just been fooling around with you guys because there are other people who have done this.
Oh, season, are you
But I deliberately chose two bowlers, two batsmen, defend 6 or less in the final over an ODI match. He did it against South Africa in Kolkata in 1993 in the Hero Cup semi-finals. Crazy. 5 they had to get and they couldn't get it.
Yes.
And the next time they had 6 in Mohali. And he didn't even bowl a legitimate delivery. The first delivery he bowled, they got themselves run out. And I think it was Brad Hogg who got himself run out.
Was he bowling leg spin? Or just sort of
God
those
only.
little
Right arm something.
right arm somethings, yeah. What are you
never
bowling?
knew. Even he didn't know.
Right arm.
Yeah, even he didn't know what was coming out. It could pretty much be 6 different balls, right?
Yeah, but that's the thing. Sachin, number of wickets that he's taken in one-day internationals is amazing. I mean, only at a certain point, I think in the mid-90s, 96, 97, that he started giving up bowling.
Yeah.
And that's what you look at and you say that, wow, even Chris Gayle has bowled a fair amount.
Yeah.
And yet these guys today are only, I mean, you remember them as batsmen alone. It's fascinating.
They just did a little bit more as batsmen. Just a little. Ajit, tell me how many wickets Sachin Tendulkar has got in ODIs. Ajit, my man. My man's on the job.
I know he's got more than 100. Definitely, more than 150 if I'm not... more than 100 ODI wickets, I think.
153? My guess is 153. Sachin's got 153 or 154 wickets in one-day internationals. Ajit, come on. Chop, chop.
I think it's more than 100, definitely.
154? It's 154.
Wow,
What do you know?
you're in a roll, man.
What do you know? Well, my other prediction of Delhi winning with a ball to spare didn't come true.
Okay.
We got something right. Well, anyway, the winner of the Joy Factor, let me tell you who it is. We've asked so many questions. You might be firing in answers for a lot of stuff. You only win for one, which is this. Ayush Jain, a guy who is the first name in everybody's phone book. Ayush Jain is the winner. Congratulations to you. So well done. And it was not an easy question, but you cracked it. So good job. It's time for us to say goodbye now. But tomorrow, later today, we shall be here at 19:30 hours. That is 7:30 in the PM. I'd like to thank Mr. Simon Doull, who's going to be on the road tomorrow.
Yeah, away for back here on the 8th, I believe.
I shall be here. Expecting your imminent arrival.
Look forward to it.
And please.
What do I need to do in Delhi tomorrow night?
No. Tomorrow is none of my boys.
Okay. I'm playing, Delhi are playing, who have I got tomorrow night?
No, that's day after tomorrow.
Day after
Delhi
tomorrow.
just played
tomorrow,
Poor
just-
kids.
I'm flying tomorrow.
Tomorrow,
Gamers.
just let Rohit open, please.
Okay.
Well, he's not going to be there, but
I won't
you
be
could
there.
you could do something. Apparently, you can Professor Xavier Rohit's mind, right? With the tails. So you can do that for
I
me.
can make things happen in Delhi on Wednesday, but not maybe tomorrow.
My shopping list.
Or Tuesday.
Robin to score more. Robin's 50, Mayank's 40, and Rohit's opening.
I want simpler things, Simon.
World
I
peace.
just want just get us some butter chicken when you come back.
Okay, no
Some
problem.
proper Delhi butter chicken.
All right, I'll do
remind me
that.
of home.
I will
Easy
do
You
job.
had to bring food into
I
it.
had to bring food into it. Food's got to come into it. Roti, आदमी काम क्यों करता है रोटी के लिए? Man works for daily bread. Daily bread with butter chicken. Very tasty at midnight. All right, I've given you ideas. I know you're going to go and order that. For us, it's time to now say goodnight. Thank you very much, Simon Doull. Thank you for being here. Thank you very much, Joy Bhattacharjya. Thank you so much for being here. You're going to be here tomorrow as well.
Yep.
Excellent. I'm Gaurav Kapur. I'm going to be here tomorrow as well. It is the 1st of May, halfway down this tournament, and it just gets more exciting with every passing day. So 7:30 on Cricbuzz Live. We shall see you. Thank you so much for watching. On behalf of our entire crew over here, it is good night. Ajit, light band karo.